I noticed something really strange in my Spotify for Artists analytics, and I want to show it to you. So I logged into Spotify for Artists and saw this massive peak on one day of streaming data. And that's pretty weird for one, but the weirder thing is that when I click over to listeners, there was no correlative peak for that same day. So now that's really curious. How did I get a lot of streams without those listeners providing those streams, right? The answer is starting to unfold as I go over to my streams per listener data. Streams per listener are exactly what it sounds like, and you can see that there is a peak on this day where usually I get about 1.2 streams for every listener. That means that people listen to one song and sometimes they listen to another one, right? But on this day, March 20th, my stream per listener count suddenly jumps to 10 streams per listener. That's 10 streams per one listener. Just to give you a background, my catalog is only 3 songs. So that's really strange. It's not like they can just listen to my whole album and generate 10 streams per one listener. So that got me thinking, what is going on? I wanted to get to the bottom of this. So the second place that I went into Spotify for Artists was over into the Audience tab. I'm going to open this up into a new tab. And right here, if I go into audience engagement, I can change my source of streams and hopefully get to the bottom of where these random weird streams were coming from. So what I want to do is go over to streams and watch this peak once again. Then while viewing my streams, I'm going to change the source of streams, which is going to filter the data. And what I started doing is just going through all of these different source of stream segments. First, I want to know, are these mysterious streams coming from people actually streaming on my profile and catalog? So once I filtered, I saw no, there's no correlation with that weird peak that I'm seeing right here on March 20th. So I'm going to continue down, and I did this off camera, I'm going to save you time, but I continued to go down and ask myself, is it from an editorial playlist? Did I just get playlisted on an editorial for one day? And the answer is no, there's nothing on March 20th. What about an algorithm? The answer is no. So to save you the time of me going through each one of those individually, the conclusion is that I eventually saw that the streams were coming from this other listeners playlist category. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad category or anything like that. What this tells me is that a user listened to my song on a playlist that they don't own. So it wasn't their own playlist, it wasn't their own saved songs or their own playlists that they're curating themselves. Someone listened on a playlist that they don't own. And that got me thinking, is this an example of bots? Is this an example of someone trying to create false streams and I got roped into some kind of test that they're doing? Because this is very strange. Why would I be getting all of these other listeners' playlists for just one day and then it goes away? It's very random and very not normal for user activity on Spotify. So that was my main theory. I wanted to test that. To do that, I'm going to head back over into music. Then I'm going to click on the song in question, taking over me. Next, I'm going to go to playlists and view the playlists that I've gotten streams from in the last 28 days. And already I'm seeing that there is one playlist right here that is providing me nearly the same amount of streams I got in this one day. I got around, let's go back to streams. I got around 533 streams on one day. And right here, I have almost all of those streams from this Lounge 35 playlist. So I'm gonna click on it. All right, so what I'm seeing here is that this Lounge 35 playlist is owned by someone who has just one like. It has a bunch of hit songs on there, and if I scroll all the way down, my song Taking Over Me is still on the playlist. That is a huge red flag because I'm still on the playlist, yet no streams are getting generated any longer. You can see it was only generated for one day and then it dropped immediately after. Now, that would be normal if my song was removed from the playlist, but I'm looking at it right now in real time and it is still listed. So why is there no more traffic? That is very strange. Next, I'm going to click on the user's profile just to see if I can learn a little bit more. And I noticed something. There is this playlist with foreign characters, and I noticed in my list that I have a playlist that's very similar to that. So I clicked on it and I saw a similar setup, a lot of the same songs. I don't read that language personally, but I scrolled down and I saw that my song was also on this playlist. Here it is, and it's still on this playlist to this day, yet it's not generating any streams. It was just generating streams for that one day. So what is the conclusion of what's going on? And obviously I don't know for sure, but I can take a very educated guess, and I believe that these playlists are tests for bot run scams, okay? The reason that I think that is because my song is still on the playlist. It was getting a lot of traffic for a single day when they turned those bots on, and now that traffic immediately went away. And this is really sketchy because if this was an organically built playlist, it would show organic signals, such as the amount of likes correlating to the amount of traffic that a playlist get. The traffic is all over the place, plus this playlist only has one like, plus there's this added link of there being a foreign language on both of these playlists. And so it's just very strange. And so what I am doing making this video is just to let you know that sometimes your music will get added to bot playlists without you doing anything at all. And this happens to very established artists all the time. If you're a Taylor Swift or an Ed Sheeran or a Post Malone, your music is getting added to bot playlists all the time. Why? It's because they're trying to build a legitimate looking playlist and they need legitimate songs and legitimate artists to populate these bot run playlists. And you can see One Direction, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, all of these big names are on these playlists as well. And so if they run bot traffic, these artists who are A-list artists are going to get bot streams, and there's nothing they can even do about it. So if you are in this situation where you are added to a bot playlist without your consent, it's not like you went to a sketchy playlisting service, you didn't respond to some random guy on Instagram promising streams, right? I'm not saying that you did any of that, but if you did get added to some kind of bot playlist against your will, I want to let you know not to worry too much because this happens to a lot of artists, even successful artists on Spotify. The problem with bot playlists is when you as an artist make that your main marketing strategy. If the majority of your streams are sourced from bot playlist sources, then you are putting yourself in huge danger for getting your account shut down or flagged by Spotify because it's against their terms of service. However, if this is just a blip in your analytics just like mine, or it even happened for 10, 20, 30 days, but then it stopped, that in the grand scheme of things is a small amount of data compared to the rest of your music industry. So this story was just to share. It's just to give you some insight on how I'm thinking of things. And so if this video was helpful, leave a like and drop a comment below. And I'd love to continue the discussion with you by checking out this video right here. I'll see you there.